1, 2, hello.
Towards the camera.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live on SABC2 and SABC's YouTube channel. Welcome to the 85th birthday celebration of the South African Broadcasting Corporation.
Well, a very, very good evening to you and welcome to the SABC's 85th birthday celebrations. What an absolute honor to be coming to you live from the SABC buildings here at Auckland Park, just one of the immaculate venues that we've got here. And tonight is a celebration. It is certainly a celebration of a lifetime. And I'm not alone this evening. There is the unbelievable Dr. Lillian Dube, who is joining me tonight. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you for saying doctor, because you always forget.
No, well, listen, this time you told me that if I didn't say doctor, you were going to reprimand me on air. So I thought tonight I'm not going to be reprimanded.
Listen,
how are you feeling?
Oh, my darling.
Years.
How it's a little, Lillian. Whatever I can fish, I'm okay. Bona Mupeme, Kibona, Ian Skulls, Bona Bobraili, Desiree Macraff. John Nanawe, only see you, only Munyan.
So, how long have you been with the SABC for?
Forever.
That's
They
the
built
answer.
it on top of me.
So can I stop them now? Okay.
So that was the rehearsal.
That was it.
Closer.
So, this,
Where are you? What do you mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live on SABC2 and SABC's YouTube channel. Welcome to the 85th birthday celebration of the South African Broadcasting Corporation.
Behind his house, a secret place, was the shadow of the demon he could never face. And then one day, the neighbors came. They were curious to know about the smoke and flame. They stood around outside the wall, but of course there was nothing to be heard at all. My friends, he said, we've reached our goal. The threat is under control. And standing as peace and honor reigns, I'll be damned if I could see a reason to explain. While the fear and the fire and the guns remain. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter now. It's over anyhow. It tells the world that it's sleeping. But as the night came round, I heard its lonely sound. It wasn't roaring, it was weeping. It wasn't roaring, it was weeping. Ooh, ooh, It doesn't matter now, it's over anyhow. It tells the world that it's sleeping. But as the night came round, I heard its lonely sound. It wasn't roaring, it was weeping. It wasn't roaring, it was
A very, very warm welcome to absolutely everybody that has tuned in for this, the 85th celebration of the SABC. Yes, 85 years old of celebrating a lifetime of memories. My name is Leanne Manus, and it is an absolute honor to be standing here this evening, not alone, but the one and only Dr. Lillian Dube.
Ke a leboha ngwanaka. Ke a leboha ha o hopotse hore ke doctor.
You reminded me, so I knew I was going to get into trouble if I didn't say it. But it is so nice to be standing with you. You are a wealth of memories. How long have you been here for?
Forever, my darling. And right now, I'm sorry, I'm weepy, I'm teary, really. Because being here today, during this time, reminds me of all the wonderful people, young scholars, all of these people I'm calling, these names I'm calling, are dead. And it's so painful not to share them
Yeah, I know.
with them today.
It is, it really is. But besides all of that, it is also a great celebration of some of the most wonderful, wonderful people that have walked through these buildings. In fact, we are coming to you live from Auckland Park here in Johannesburg in just one of the most incredible, I suppose, studios that we have here on offer at the SABC. And we're going to be sharing the journey with you, the viewer, this evening. And thank you so much for tuning in to both SABC2, Channel 404. We're also streaming this live on our YouTube channel. And to show you the power of the SABC, we are also streaming this event on our radio stations. In fact, some of the radio stations are taking us live, and it's a pleasure for you to be with us today. I think it's Metro FM that are taking us. We've got Ukhozi FM and also Ares here. But to kickstart us off this evening, it gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce the chairperson of the SABC board, Bongamusa Makatini.
Honorable Minister Stellan Ndabeni-Abrahams, Deputy Minister Pinky Kekana, Professor Zeblon Vilagazi, VC from Wits University, Professor Chilizi Marawa, VC UJ, SABC board members, SABC management and staff, all SABC stakeholders, including the general public of South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the SABC board, I thank you for joining us on this historic evening together with millions of South Africans who are sharing this moment with us on SABC 2, the SABC News Channel, Metro FM, Radio 2000. We welcome and greet you all. Today, we mark the 85th birthday of an institution that stands tall as a pillar of our constitutional democracy, as a vital public media organization that weaves our nation together, reaching over 30 million people on radio and more than 20 million people on TV every week. Today, the SABC is not just an independent public broadcaster, but also fully fledged public media organization. We now reach audiences beyond the traditional technology limits of broadcasting via online streamlined platform on phones and other devices. 85 years ago, the SABC started as just 2 radio services in English and Afrikaans and aimed only at white population. This was 3 years before the Second World War, and it took another 24 years deep into apartheid era for the launch of stations that we today call Ukhozi FM, Umhlobo Wenene, Lesedi FM, and Thobela FM. Other radio stations followed with TV launched in 1976. While SABC broadcast thousands of hours of memorable shows over its first 6 decades, the organization was controlled by a minority group which structured and designed the corporation to uphold colonial and then apartheid ideology. In those years, the resources of the SABC were not dedicated to unite and truly serve the whole nation, but instead were channeled to divide and perpetuate apartheid thinking on racial and ethnic lines. Even though these dark years of apartheid during isolation and repression, there were some programs that excelled through, largely because of the dedication and the resilience of people working for what was then a state broadcaster. As we look back and acknowledge our history, we should also recognize the many talented people who worked at the SABC over the decade, who strive to bring us excellence despite the often oppressive political, employment, and media environment. Today, we celebrate the longevity of the SABC and its transformation into a national public institution as a national treasure to be protected and nurtured. But it is important to make clear that we do not celebrate how this institution was misused and abused under apartheid, and the role it played in society when there were no political freedom and freedom of expression. We cannot and should never forget that. If we are to be authentic about our history, we also cannot celebrate those times during our democracy when the SABC was misused and mismanaged, and how this ship went badly off course after well-published or publicized government failures and interference in editorial decisions. This organization is too precious to allow that to ever happen again. The SABC has undergone significant transformation since those troubled times, with new and widely praised editorial policies published last year, driven by a revitalized news division under the independent and impartial ethos. You may have also noticed that the SABC has taken a strong public position on sports rights, on mass carry rules, and the need to change laws and regulations that inhibit the operations and the funding of the public broadcaster. This will continue until field is leveled. The SABC has taken a leading role in providing credible information about COVID-19 pandemic and ensuring that our vaccine rollout is communicated and explained to all citizens in all our languages. During a time when fake news and misinformation is rife and potentially life-threatening, it is important to South Africans that their public broadcaster continues to provide credible and trustworthy information. There are some who think the difference between state broadcaster and public broadcaster is just semantics, but the different terms could be more important to understand the role of the SABC. A state broadcaster goes a state broadcaster does not enjoy editorial and operational independence, and it just serves the narrow interest of those in charge of the state. The public broadcaster, while also state-owned, has editorial and operational independence at its very core. The central reason for the public broadcaster's existence is to serve the public interest and the interests of the public. It is for that reason that the board and management have placed a big emphasis on the achieving the SABC's public mandate, ensuring that this mandate is properly funded in the future. The SABC has had to become agile to compete and operate in one of the most vibrant and competitive broadcasting and media industries on the African continent. Today, the SABC faces competition on all platforms from many players, global and local. Our task is to reinvent the SABC and reposition the organization to take advantage of multi-platform and multi-channel world. Not only have we recently launched a sport channel last month, but plan to advance to launch more channels and take SABC onto its own streaming platform before the end of this financial year. As the nation experienced terrible pain last month, our brave SABC journalists and crews were out in often dangerous situations, bringing the nation difficult images we will never forget. We thank them again for their dedication and commitment to the service media. The public broadcasting mandate of informing, educating, and entertaining is at the core of what SABC does on a daily basis. While dealing with these difficult times, the SABC also able to bring the leading dramas and special sporting moments, including the Olympics, that help bind who we are and aspire to be as a nation. Before I hand over to the Deputy Minister, I would like to once again thank our SABC stakeholders, our employees, our stakeholders, Minister, and our shareholder Minister, and the South African public for supporting the public broadcaster during difficult times. We believe that great strides have been made, and the SABC is on its way to a more sustainable and stable future for hopefully the next 85 years and beyond. I thank you.
Chairperson, thanks very, very much for that. And it's quite incredible to think about how, as an SABC, as an organization, we've managed to evolve and move with the times. You know, as our guests arrived, and believe me, it's just a handful of guests sticking to all of the COVID protocols that are in place. Our guests walked down memory lane, and they were just faced with all of the different kinds of technologies that the SABC had when it first went on to air, as you heard the chair saying, on the 1st of August 1936, and how far we have come as we sit here in the year 2021 on the 2nd of August. But it's been an incredible journey, and when you look at these old devices that we relied on, it's amazing how things have changed. And it's also amazing how many people have walked through these doors, and how grateful so many people are that they have had the SABC in their lives to inform, to educate, and to give them immense opportunities. And they want to say thank you.
We are so proud of all the notable milestones you've achieved, including your move towards having an SABC bill,
which I hope fellow citizens will have valuable input so that we can all have a SABC that we are proud of.
I am proud that you've been a reliable platform to nurture talent.
And as many renowned broadcasters of our beautiful country were established here.
We all have a story to tell about the SABC. Just remember,
oh, we are one, oh, Zanzi for sure.
And the Feel It, It Is Here 2010 campaign. Oh, SABC, you are great.
Thank you for being the voice for the nation. Thank you for great entertainment over the years.
We are looking forward to a more profitable and progressive public service broadcasting.
We wish you a long and sustainable future as you pave the way for the next generation of stars.
I wish the SABC more courage as it discharges its public mandate to the South African public.
And we look forward to yet another exciting 85 years of entertaining, informative and educative programming.
Happy birthday, SABC.
Happy birthday.
Happy 85th birthday, SABC.
Happy 85th birthday.
Happy birthday, SABC.
Happy birthday, SABC.
Happy birthday.
Happy 85th birthday.
Happy birthday, SABC.
Oh, Robert, it's so good to see you. What are your memories?
I don't remember anything really, but most part, quite good. Quite good, but I mean, I started here. My first job here was in 1976. I was in the first English drama.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you were good, eh?
I think so.
And you still...
I looked a bit better than I do now, but it's been a very extraordinary connection, and also very interesting to watch everything change. Change has been a marvelous thing, you know, because one had to sort of try and find reasons for oneself apart from just purely financial, which was mostly what, for doing the stuff that one did. One wanted to and one thing, but it was not so good. You know what I mean?
I know. And
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly what you mean. And I'm glad you don't remember anything.
Thank you. I would test you. That wouldn't be any good,
I
would
also
it?
don't remember. I don't even remember who you are. Isn't that beautiful to be at that age where we don't have to remember?
Marvelous.
But I must tell you, for me, just looking at you, I can see Isiti and go, oh, you were good.
Oh, well, that was...
brilliant.
That was
brilliant.
fantastic, and that was a fantastic break for me at that particular moment, because I had been a freelance artist all those years. I was 53 or something when that started, and one didn't know whether it was going to.
How long? How long were you in?
I was there like 12 years, 13
Wow,
years.
12 beautiful years.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Yes. No, I
Yes.
used to enjoy watching you.
I used to enjoy doing it.
Yes, of course, it should. And your wife? Your ex-wife?
Well, yes. And what is so wonderful now is that I keep doing different things, and they almost somehow end up with Michelle, who is Sherelle, who's just wonderful.
Ah, man, thank you so much. You know, you gave us joy, really.
I'm glad. That's the gig, that's the job. That's what we are.
I hope it's okay. Okay, let's go back to Lillian.
Yeah.
SABC, celebrating a lifetime of memories.
All right, we'll take you back.
SABC, celebrating a lifetime of memories.
Right, welcome back, everybody. It's a pleasure being with you. If you just tuned in, this is the 85th birthday celebrations of the SABC. Yes, turning 85 years. It's 85 years on air. Can you believe it? And one of the other things, as soon as you arrive in this auditorium, you are faced with these faces. And I'm going to ask my cameraman if he can. I know I'm asking a tall order, but it's one of those trips down memory lane that you have to take, because as you look up, there are some of the most iconic moments that we as South Africans have experienced, and the SABC has been there every step of the way, capturing these moments, whether it was the very first Rugby World Cup that we won as a country, and Madiba was there with the Rugby World Cup champion to capture that moment. Or was it when our Rugby World Cup was won again with our president now, Cyril Ramaphosa? I mean, that is another time that we were there to capture as well. And of course, the late Shauna Ferguson right in the middle there. Some of the actors and actresses that have been here at the SABC, starring in some of the most amazing, legendary soapies and sitcoms that still continue to today after all of these years. And then right above me, of course, is my co-host, my former co-host of Morning Live that all of you do know and very, very well, the late Vuyo Mbuli. These are just some of these faces and unbelievable people that have been here and formed a part of this organization that continues to grow and continues to make a lifetime of memories. And that's what we're doing tonight. We are celebrating a lifetime of memories. On that note, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker this evening, and that, of course, is the Deputy Minister of Communications and Digital Technologies, Ms. Pinky Kekana.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Program Directors, Minister of the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies, and our 4IR Commander-in-Chief, Minister Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams, the SABC Chair, Mr. Bongumusa Makatini, and all board members here present, our Group CEO, Mr. Madoda Mkakwe, and all Group Executives who are here. Let me also recognize Professor Chilizi Marwala, the Deputy Chair of the 4IR Commission and the VC for UJ, Prof. Zebulon Vilagazi, VC for Vets, Dr. Mudimwing, the Chair of ICASA, the CEO of Centec, Mr. Mlamli Boy, SABC management and staff, all SABC stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday we commenced with observing National Women's Month in our country. As a department led by 2 women in the ministry, I would like to start tonight off by wishing all the women of the SABC, our department in South Africa, a happy Women's Month. In the words of Charlotte Maxeke, I quote, "This work is not for yourselves. Kill that spirit of self and do not live above your people, but live with them. And if you can rise, bring someone with you." Close quote. Let us remember these words gravely as we celebrate the 85th anniversary of the South African Broadcasting Corporation. Much like Ma Maxeke, the SABC has been at the very top of the glory days of television broadcasting in South Africa and Africa. Not like Dr. Maxeke, it has had dismal days, days of loss, days of tears, days of dissension, and days of negativity. Through it all, though, the SABC stands today still as a very important and critical institution in our South African history. Program Director, since 1994, the public broadcaster has been ably led by formidable men and women. We owe a great deal of gratitude to these patriots who played a pivotal role in the transition of the SABC from being a state broadcaster to a national public broadcaster committed to serving the millions of South African audiences. I want to take a moment to recognize each of the SABC chairpersons who has led the board and the institution. Of course, some of them have passed on. From 1994 to 1998, Dr. Ivy Matsepa Kasaburi. From 1999 to 2003, Dr. Vincent Mapai. From 2004 to 2007, Mr. Eddie Funde. From 2008, Mayor Irene Shenley as an interim board chairperson. 2009 to 2013, Dr. Ben Ngubani. 2013 to 2014, Mayor Ellen Chabalala. 2015 to 2016, Prof. M.O. Maguve, and then the interim board led by Mayor Kanyisile Kweyama, and in 2017 up to now, we have Chairperson Bongumusa Makatini. Your service to our nation is remembered, and we want to honor all of you. Despite many turbulent times in its history, we have seen SABC leaders and employees through the generations, committed to turning the organization around and to restore its public image with its various stakeholders, as much as we have seen the SABC's reputation severely marred by maladministration and poor governance. We have seen the SABC emerge time and time again from chronic failures in corporate governance caused by severe reputational damage to the public broadcaster, and we have seen it fight back time and time again, and it still stands. We need to equally remember the group CEOs who have come and gone through the history of this great organization. From 1994 to 1997, Tatet Zwelakhe Sisulu. 1998 to 2000, Reverend Haumbata. 2000 to 2005, Date Peter Matlari. 2005 to 2008, Senior Counsel Dalimpofu. 2008 to 2009, Gep Mamponi. 2009 to 2011, Mr. Soli Mukwetle. 2012 to 2014, Lula Mam Mukobo. 2015, Mr. Franz Matlala. And there were a few acting CEOs that also came in and out from the institution. And currently, as we speak, from 2018, Madoda Mkakwe was appointed and is currently in office. As I conclude, the SABC still has the power to create a very emotional response from our people, whether within these walls or its audience. The past 2 years have seen much discussion, much debate, many parliamentary sessions that went on late into the night trying to get around issues. As much debate and discussion and even disagreement at times as there was, one thing is very clear. Everyone wants the best for the SABC, albeit we all want the best for it in our own way and all at once. The past few months has seen a turnaround plan come to fruition. Preconditions of the bailout being under scrutiny, with many of it being met, and congratulations, whilst we also witnessed retrenchments. There is a newness, however, at the SABC as this old lady starts to find new ground in doing things differently by investing in content platforms and thereby different types of content far removed from her yesteryears. We celebrate the Grand Dame's 85th birthday tonight, having recently witnessed the launch of local programs such as The Estate, Decentram, and Ubetina Wetu, to name a few, as well as the board taking a decision to address the corporation's technology and infrastructure challenges, as well as settling historical debts. Things are not perfect, but it is indeed encouraging to see the improvement in revenue generation activities and overall stabilization of the SABC. To the leadership at the helm of the SABC today, in another few decades, we'll be looking back your time here and marking your legacy. I think our grand old lady deserves a return of her glory days, and that is in your hands. I look to you with faith that you will deliver this to the people of South Africa and make the SABC that great institution it once was and can be again. Congratulations on bringing us this far. God speed towards the next 85 years. Malibongwe.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. Yes, indeed, this grand old dame, 85 years old today, and has she got memories and does she have stories to tell? Well, it's not only in the entertainment side that the SABC has got incredible stories. The one thing that the SABC does is document the history of this country, and the archives and the stories that fall into the news department is something that it's legendary. Nobody has anything and stories like the SABC. Now, the head of news, I suppose the boss of the news, Patiswa Machopeni, joins us, is one of the guests here tonight. You know, when we think about news at the SABC, it's also had its fair share of ups and downs, and it's always told the story as we've moved through the path of South Africa. But I mean, what is it for you that attracted you to the SABC, and particularly when it comes to portraying the news of this country?
Okay, thank you, Lillian, and thank you, viewers in the different spaces where you are watching us. The first thing I want to correct you on is that I'm not the boss of news. The bosses of news are sitting in the newsroom as we speak.
Thank you.
The real thing about being in the space of public broadcasting, just as you see in the pictures above us, it's the fact that it takes the SABC to the centrality of the lives of citizens. And you are talking about the custodian of the collective memory and experiences of the country. And our role as news is to ensure that how we document those experiences and those memories is done accurately, is done in a balanced way, is done independently of any influence, which is where we are as news with our impartiality and independent ethos.
And what a country to tell the story of. You know, South Africa, as we have said, through its rich history, through so much that has happened. I mean, we just look over the last year and a half, the story of COVID, the story of what we saw unfolding the last 3 weeks, and the SABC has been there to tell the story, and in every corner of the country, and that's what makes this medium so powerful.
That's very important and very, it's at the heart of our work. There's one thing that I always say, that while everybody is excited about brown rice and lentils issues and plain yogurt, we still care, and we should care as the SABC and SABC News about the dry porridge and sweetened water stuff, because that is what the majority of the country is dealing with, and we are putting that story right at the center of our coverage. And also, it's not just about generating audiences, it's more about ensuring that we make impact in the lives of South Africans, and we make a real contribution to the national discourse.
All right, that's news. Patiswa, thank you very much for talking to us. And I mean, sport, we're going to talk about that shortly. I mean, some of you, I'm sure, haven't taken your eyes off of the Olympics, and that's where SABC are again creating a lifetime of memories for you. What about music? We've been there too. And the Bala brothers are here to take you down memory lane. Let's listen to them once again. Enjoy.
All right, so while
Here we go.
Pata is a dance that probably originated 85 years ago, so some of you may not know how it goes, okay? But you know, when you're looking for your keys, né? Chico Zach was like zippy, zippy, pata, here we go. Mama Lillian Dube Batini. I want to pata. Come on, show us my head. Yes. Now clap your hands, everybody clap your hands like this. Now everybody around the world claps their hands like this. But in South Africa, we do it slightly differently. I'm going to teach it to you. Are you ready?
Play South African.
Okay. Yeah, sit. Clap. Now, so. You see, we still do it.
Cheers, sir. Thank you. Happy birthday, SABC.
You got to love this one, the Bala brothers. I love them. They're just amazing. Zwei, Loyiso, they're just those guys that you can rely on wherever you go to entertain and to just be fantastic artists and great all-round guys. So thanks so much to the Bala brothers for being with us tonight. All right, sports. I promised you we were going to talk about sports because that's what Gary's here for. You're going to be talking about sports. I mean, talk to us about... I look at these photographs and I look at how the SABC was there and is there to capture every moment of that one thing that unites this country, and that is sport.
Oh, absolutely. That is, you put your finger on it there completely, because all the history of the SABC has been about cataloging and being there as part of the way that this nation has developed around sports, basically. The greatest, most iconic sporting events that we all remember and know and we love, that people can think back, and it's all, the SABC has been a huge part of that, because that's what we're about. It's about sport for the people. It's about sport for South Africans. And you know, we work so hard to keep achieving that. And it's got harder in a very challenging environment, but we have to keep at that basically, because we owe it to all South Africans to make sure that what they want to see and what interests them is represented on the SABC.
And I mean, at the moment, you're busy doing the Olympics, and I mean, this is such an exciting time. Well, I know today wasn't a great day, but we'll just focus on the goal that we achieved.
The thing is, this is what I think about the Olympics. We have the great moments on SABC Live, and we've got even the heartbreak moments as well. Seeing our athletes just coming short, but to be there, to be able to be with them and see them, giving their all and really making the country proud, to be able to see that on a national broadcaster, that to me is what sports broadcasting is all about in South Africa.
And people deserve it.
Exactly. People do deserve it. Exactly. We deserve it as South Africans.
That's it. South Africans, you deserve to watch what you love most, and that is sport. So it's time now to hear from our CEO at the SABC, and it gives me great pleasure in introducing Madoda Bekwe.
Good evening, everyone. All protocol observed. To the Honorable Minister and the Honorable Deputy Minister, SABC Board, and my fellow EXCO members. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's such an incredible milestone that the SABC has been around for 85 years. On behalf of the management team, I'm pleased with the impressive progress that we've made in implementing the turnaround plan of the SABC. As you all know, the Minister gave us a very solid turnaround plan. We are now at 84% achievement against the target, and all of our strategic pillars of the turnaround plan are indeed showing a positive outward trend. From ensuring sustainability of the SABC, offering an innovative multi-channel portfolio, creating an organization that is digitized, and building a competent workforce that is fit for purpose, to strengthening the governance framework of the SABC, as well as creating mutually beneficial partnerships and relationships. We have indeed made great strides. All these pillars are geared towards a common goal, which is a sustainable public broadcaster that can ably fulfill its public mandate. Throughout the organization, we have instilled the required organizational and business fundamentals to ensure that the SABC is sustainable. We have managed to stabilize the leadership by bringing in competent and ethical executives who are committed to the public service, men and women who want to do good for our country. We are indeed witnessing significant improvements in revenue generation. For the first quarter, for example, the SABC has recorded an impressive 5% growth against budget and an incredible 52% growth compared to the previous quarter of the financial year. All this is done in a very difficult economic climate, indicating indeed that we are making strides. We are successfully dealing also with the high cost base by addressing all of the big cost drivers. SABC is indeed showing growth in market share across all of our platforms, be it news, television, radio, as well as digital. For an organization that was previously hollowed out and effectively rendered dysfunctional, we have ensured that there's strict adherence to our corporate governance framework, and we have sound controls in place whilst we ensure fiscal discipline in our execution. The improvement that is shown in our turnaround plan is due to the commitment, the resilience, and the collective efforts of all SABC employees who continue to serve the millions of South Africans who rely on the public broadcaster for education, information, as well as entertainment. The spirit displayed by our colleagues out in the field and behind the desk remains unmatched. The need to ensure that the SABC becomes self-reliant, sustainable, and resilient institution has never been more urgent. The work that has been done has indeed laid a solid foundation for the SABC for the next 85 years. The decisions taken now and over the next few years will determine the ability of the SABC to survive as a proud and relevant institution that exists to serve the public interest for the next 85 years and beyond. All of us collectively have an ethical and moral obligation to hand over to the next generation a fully functional, stable, digitized, and financially sustainable public broadcaster that will ensure that it fulfills its constitutional mandate. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the stakeholders of the SABC who also have a vested interest in ensuring that the corporation fulfills its public mandate. To our audience, thank you for standing by the SABC. We exist to serve you, and your support has made the SABC the giant that it is today. I'd also want to thank our partners in a very constrained economic environment and a pandemic that has completely disrupted the way we do business. Our clients, advertisers, and customers did not delay nor withhold their advertising spend with us. Thank you for ensuring that the public broadcaster is commercially viable. Lastly, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the shareholder and the board for their guidance, my fellow executive committee members for your diligence and continued hard work, and your steadfast commitment to the delivery of our mandate. Lastly, as we continue to strengthen and preserve this institution that is so vital to our democracy, I wish to assure all of you that all the decisions that we have taken thus far and the ones that we'll continue to take are aimed at ensuring that the SABC is sustainable for another 85 years for the sole benefit of the citizen and future generations who deserve a successful, profitable, and sustainable public broadcaster. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much to our CEO giving us an important talk in terms of what it is the SABC stands for and what we've been doing throughout this time and the turnaround strategy that's been taking place. Well, I told you right at the beginning of the broadcast that it's not only on television that we're broadcasting and also streaming on YouTube, but it's also on radio that we have got the presence here this evening. So the radio stations that are with us, it's got Metro FM and of course Ukhozi, who is just one of the most widely listened to stations, actually the most listened to station here in South Africa, with an average 7 million listeners to the station. And then of course Aris here and Radio 2000 also taking this event live. So don't go anywhere, stay with us. The Minister, Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams, is going to be speaking to us after this. That's our keynote address. Stay tuned to the SABC 85-year celebrations.
SABC, celebrating a lifetime of memories.
All right, coming to you live.
SABC, celebrating a lifetime of memories.
Welcome back, everybody. Broadcasting live from the SABC in Auckland Park, and that beautiful drone shot coming to you from the building where all of the channels, the SABC channels, are emblazoned on the side of the building. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you. Well, as I said to you, it's now time for our keynote speaker of the evening, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our Minister in the portfolio of communications. Here she is, Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams.
Thank you so much, program directors. And firstly, let me acknowledge the presence of the Deputy Minister, Babes with TV, Ms. Bingi Gegana, of course, the chairperson of the SABC board, Bongi Musa Makatini, together with other board members here, the executive management of SABC, together with all other executives that are here. Of course, the two professors, the VCs that are here, both from UJ and VETS, you are acknowledged, the CEOs from other sister organizations under the portfolio. Ladies and gentlemen, I've also seen the Acting Director General of the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies, and most importantly, all the beautiful, wonderful people who are watching us today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very delighted to be here tonight. Of course, we are celebrating the 85th birthday of the largest public broadcaster on the continent, our very own South African Broadcasting Corporation, the SABC, your SABC. Since the inception on the 1st of August 1936, by an act of parliament, the SABC has served as an archive of this country's journey from a repressive state to a democratic republic. What a journey we have traveled. All the while, the SABC has provided South Africans with primary news and information and constantly strive to reflect the breadth and depth of our diverse nation. Established as an English and African state radio service, the SABC gradually expanded its broadcast to African language stations until the introduction of television in 1976. Since then, it has continued to grow and strive to adapt to the ever-changing broadcasting and social development environment. The SABC is a beacon of light for all of us. It steers us along our journey of strengthening our democracy by reflecting the nation's hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Since 1994, SABC has played a key role in promoting democracy and social cohesion in the broadcast of South Africa's first democratic elections. You can remember the memorable times, and they were all there throughout the way. In the same year, the corporation appointed its first ever black chief executive officer, the late Mr. Zwelakhe Sisulu, entrenching the change of SABC from a state-owned entity into an independent public broadcaster. With 19 radio stations, 6 television channels, and many digital platforms, the SABC provides listeners and viewers access to compelling content anytime and anywhere, and most importantly, in their preferred languages. One of the SABC's most significant highlights was establishing the XK-FM radio station in 2000, broadcasting to the Shun and the Khoi communities of the Northern and the Western Cape. Over and above broadcasting in all 11 official languages, the SABC has provided content in English, in French, in Chinyanja, Portuguese, Shilozi, and Swahili through its own Channel Africa platform, and in Hindi and others in its Lotus FM. In response to the fast-changing digital environment and to meet consumer demands for news and information at any time, the corporation launched its 24-hour channel, the news channel on 404, which has become a market leader since its inception in 2013. The news service was further extended to online and digital platforms with the launch of the SABC News app during 2019 around the elections time to ensure SABC News is available not only 24 hours a day, but everywhere and on multiple platforms. Consumers want news and information when they want it and at the time they want to access it, and SABC is able to deliver that service. We are all aware that education inequality has been an issue of historical concern in our country, and government has made progress in addressing the underlying challenges. The current pandemic brought the reality of access into question once again. In response, the SABC launched the SABC Education television channel last year when everybody was panicking during the emergence of the pandemic. And this was done to provide curriculum support to learners amid the devastating effects of the pandemic that restricted movement and attendance. The channel was in line with the corporation's public service mandate of providing broadcast programming on radio and television that informs, educates, and entertains. The fourth industrial revolution has prompted the most dramatic transformation in the broadcasting industry as the move from analog to digital broadcasting accelerates. And of course, Professor Marwala here can tell you of the journey that we have outlined for South Africa in order to ensure that SABC remains relevant and an effective player in the fourth industrial revolution. The SABC continues to embrace the shift towards digital technologies and has made significant strides in ensuring that its technology infrastructure supports the corporation in becoming a competitive multi-channel and multi-platform public content provider, more jobs for content producers. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that today we have so much to celebrate. Over the years, the SABC has reached many milestones that we can all be proud of. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the board, the management team, and all the employees of the SABC, the real owners of SABC, who work tirelessly to ensure that the corporation fulfills its public mandate whilst driving nation building and social cohesion as they continue to keep us all informed, educated, and entertained. Happy 85th birthday, SABC. Ye birthday, ye no. Thank you, program directors.
Minister, thank you. Minister, thanks very much.
All right, that was the communication
speaker, and of course celebrating this massive milestone for the SABC, 85 years. It's a big one. Have a look at this cake, everyone. Is it not one of the most beautiful cakes? Sis Lillian, isn't this stunning? Look at that.
It's beautiful, such creativity.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, they've done such a great job.
Brilliant.
You've got your mic, you've got your pair of headphones, the SABC News. We are going to cut it. That's what's going to happen now. We've got the chair, we've got the CEO, we've got the deputy minister, and the minister is making her way here. I'm not sure if you managed to hear the champagne popping, but the champagne has popped. So the celebration is underway, and of course the glasses are being poured. We're just waiting for the minister. Here she is, and we're going to cut the cake. So this is the culmination of 85 years of broadcasting, and I hope that this is the beginning. I don't know who's going to do the honors, so Minister, would you like to do the honors? All right, the minister is going to cut the cake. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for you, the viewer, and we thank you for supporting us over these 85 years, and we hope that we are going to be here for a lot longer, bringing you lots more memories of this lifetime. So as we navigate through cutting this cake, we thank you for joining us here on this wonderful and momentous broadcast. And everybody is going to enjoy a slice of this cake.
It's unfair. I don't want it to be cut.
You don't want to cut the cake. We cut the cake and we sing.
Happy birthday to you. Oh, that's better. To you. Happy birthday, SABC.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Thanks for watching, everyone. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
SABC, celebrating a lifetime of memories.